Welcome to one of my very favorite full-size SUVs on the road right now. This is the redesigned 2025 Nissan Armada. It is full-size. It seats 7 or 8 passengers. It is now powered by a more powerful yet smaller and more fuel-efficient engine. And the best part is when Nissan redesigned its sibling, the luxury Infiniti QX80, carried over a lot of features from that SUV to this one, but at yet a much more affordable price. A lot of the great features, not such a big price. That is the big story in the 2025 Nissan Armada. To get a really good idea of what is under the hood, what the performance is like, what the experience is like, Nissan brought us out to a cold, rainy, middle Tennessee. We're right outside of Nashville. Actually, the weather is improving a little bit, but we actually got to experience all the elements in our test drive. We took it on-road. We used ProPilot Assist and the hands-free ProPilot Assist 2.1. We took it off-road. We're going to go inside and I'm going to share all the things that you need to know about this full-size 7 or 8 passenger 3-row SUV. Be sure to follow along on our social channels, subscribe to us on YouTube, join our conversation on Facebook, and if you see a video pop up in the corner, click on it. I personally put it there because I personally think you're going to like it. All of that power, space, and luxury does come at a price. Starting price for the 2025 model of the Nissan Armada is about $56,000. And then for four-wheel drive, which is not the same as all-wheel drive, it's true four-wheel drive with a locking differential, that adds $3,000 to the price if you opt for that. The top of the line model is just under $80,000. That's with four-wheel drive. And yet still, there are some packages you can add for even a little more luxury. Behind the wheel of the Nissan Armada, this SUV feels really good. It feels confident and it feels capable, and that's what Nissan was going for in the redesign of this SUV, was to drive confidence in its owners. And that's an important value in a big SUV like this. Whether you're on narrow roads like the ones we're driving on here today in Tennessee, or you're on a big highway with nice wide lanes, either way, a large SUV takes up a lot of space, but it also can give you a lot of confidence. You'll feel very much in control and very capable, and that is what Nissan was going for. And I'm going to say they accomplished it. So we're driving through Middle Tennessee today. We're on some relatively small, narrow roads and country roads, and some of them are a little bumpy and a lot of hills. And that's something Nissan has addressed in the design of the Armada with adaptive suspension. So the ride height can be changed 2 inches lower or 1 inch higher, an inch higher for off-roading, 2 inches lower for loading into the cargo area or loading passengers into the car. And also, if you put it in sport mode, it lowers the center of gravity of the car as well. And that just gives you a little bit more capability, say, on curvy roads. Now, you're not going to be driving like on a racetrack in this SUV, but you never should do that anyway on a public road. And what the adaptive suspension gives you is just a little more capability, and that is what Nissan was going for. The exterior of the Nissan Armada is classic SUV. It's tall, it's boxy, and it has those bold proportions that we know and like for our SUVs. You might notice a few details that harken to the new Infiniti QX80 design. These are sisters from another mister, as you might say. They're built on the same platform, they have the same proportions and the same size, but they differ in their details. What's really new here is this new grille. And Nissan is moving away from that sort of, they call it the V-motion grille. This is a new sort of a chain link type grille that's notable for the lights on either side and a bar across the center. And the headlights are sort of that C-shaped headlight that we've seen becoming very popular on SUVs these days. The new headlights and the daytime running lights, which frame them here, really light up the front face of the Nissan Armada. And in the daylight, it does look like this is a light bar that spans the entire front face of the car, but actually this is a chrome strip, and these are light. Nissan has outfitted it with these really beautiful, almost Nautilus style wheels. There are built-in running boards. Notice how dirty and muddy they are. They will wash right up in the car wash, which is something we really appreciate. And they're going to aid getting in and out of this car. It has a 10-inch ground clearance, so running boards are a must. On the rear, those C-shaped lights continue with the tail lights, and then we have the light that stretches all the way across the rear right here, right above the Armada name and framing the Nissan badge. It's easier to see in the dark, but you can see the lighted bar across the tailgate and the illuminated tail lights. Part of the good news though in the Nissan Armada is there is more cargo space. They actually were able to carve more space out of this space behind the third row. It's 25% larger. But if you put down the third row, you actually get quite a lot of space. You can actually even put down the center row seats too by tapping a button right here in the cargo area. Normally, I would hop up in here and show you what this space looks like. I'm just going to describe it to you and I will show you a close-up. It's a little dirty and muddy from our rainy drive this morning through Middle Tennessee. But there is a nice cargo area here. There's a space underneath, a tiny little storage space underneath. And then if you're tailgating, there is a flat lip here and then the rear bumper. So it's a little bit of a stretch if you're going to sit here, but not uncomfortable. And you have this nice space overhead that keeps the sun out of your eyes and the rain off of your head. And then of course, a nice detail, the button to close the lift gate is right there. A lot of the magic of the 2025 Nissan Armada is right here in the front seat. So first of all, the drop zones. So wireless phone charger right there, a place to put your key or a cup holder right there. There is a nice little cubby underneath right here where I can tuck a handbag, a small handbag away, which is really nice. I'm going to tell you though, there's an even better place for your handbag in the back seat, and I will show you that. And then we have all of this. So they actually called this a T design, meaning there's switch gear, switches here, there's conveniences here, and then there's a nice wide dash. And Infiniti created this dual screen setup with this panoramic screen. Well, Nissan carried it over into the Armada. This is the first Nissan to have this screen system, and it is pretty good. I'm going to show you some of my favorite things on the screen system, some of the magic in this screen system, and then what it's like to sit in the driver's seat. The interior of the Nissan Armada has been completely redesigned, and you'll notice a couple of things. One is this really beautiful new steering wheel. It has the ProPilot Assist, driver assist and safety features here. We have our entertainment features here. You can use this to control the system, and you can also use this to control the display on the driver's display. So this is a touchscreen multimedia system, and then this is the driver display. It's not touch sensitive, but you can control what you see with this little dial toggle here. So I can toggle to see what my speed limits are, what driver assist systems are being used. I can just turn the whole thing off if I don't want to see any of that stuff. I can press it to get different functions. So there I can turn on or off my blind spot, emergency assist, lane assist, those sorts of things. So really nice function here. This wide screen allows something really nice here on the steering wheel, and that's this little guy. So this is basically shows you which toolbar is active right now. So if I tap this, I'll see that the toolbar on the media screen is active, but if I tap this side, I see that the toolbar is active here on the driver display. Once I have the toolbar highlighted, I can actually scroll through by using the arrows on either side of the toggle and finding the function that I want. And if I want navigation, I can set navigation right there, or I can tap the dial through the toggle, and this allows me a selection of views. The big news is on this screen here. So we have this nice large screen, and I can pick whatever I'd like to see. So if I want to see all map, I can do that. I have a little toolbar over here. I can turn on my Apple CarPlay. I can turn on the music. I can turn on climate. We do have climate functions over here, and I'll show you that. But I can turn on climate. I can go to my apps, and I can swipe through and get different things and set this up however I'd like it. If I don't feel like using the screen, I can just do this. Hey Google, navigate to Starbucks.
There's a Starbucks 3.8 miles away.
So I love how this system works, and it can even do something like this, like, hey Google, what's the Spanish word for house?
In Spanish, you would say
gas.
Isn't that nice? So you have this little homework helper in addition to navigation, climate, and it will even do this. Hey Google, turn on the heated steering wheel.
All right, turning on the steering wheel heater.
There's a lot of function in here. Get to know this little guy, this little settings wheel right there. And this is where you're going to get a lot of the features and apps that are in this system. In fact, the first place I always go is right here to vehicle. And under vehicle, you can see a lot of different things. So I can set up my cameras if I want to customize them. There is a dash cam, so I can actually turn this on so it will record, and it will record longer if I'd like it to record longer. And it will record in the event of an incursion. So if there's an accident, say your car is bumped in a parking lot, it will start recording, and it should be able to grab the information about the car that hit your car, which is really nice. I can set up some customization for climate. In fact, this car has biometric cooling, which means it will sense if you are hot or cold, and it will adjust the seats. So even if the air temperature is, say, 70 degrees, if you get into the car and you're sweating and hot, it will cool down the seat and the car for you automatically. It also has this, and I'm going to show you. So there are massage settings. We do have massage seats here. There are front power seat adjustments. So if I wanted to adjust, say, the passenger seat over here, I don't have to walk around and do that. I can do that right here. And then I can do this. And this is amazing. So if I'm sitting up here and I want to put those third row seats down, all I do is touch that, and then they go down automatically. They fold just like that. Yay, Nissan, for making those third row seats automatic and giving me the controls right here on the front touchscreen. That is brilliant. And then here's a pretty cool detail too. So in our multimedia system, you can tap the settings, vehicle, and then interior light. And this allows you to change the accent lighting, so you can just change how bright it is or not. And you can set up and customize your ambient lighting. So you can change the color if you'd rather it be pink rather than purple, which I think is how we have it set here. It says blue, but that looks like purple to me, but maybe it's blue. And then you can actually change the color for ProPilot Assist. So you can change to whatever color you want. And I slid mine over to green, but I can change it over to yellow and orange and back to pink and purple and red. And that will look really stellar at night. Along here on the touch screen, you'll see a fixed bar of controls. So here are your quick access for heated steering wheel and seats, navigation, music, CarPlay, the home screen, temperature. There are apps. That's our Google Assistant. And then you can see, you can turn on or off the heated and cooled seats, and you can see the temperature setting right there. There are air vents here. Here are quick access buttons for climate control. You can also turn on or off your heated seats here. Here are our drive modes. So I can dial this for the different drive modes. I can put it in eco, sport, standard, or snow mode. And they give you a nice little icon there that shows you what that is on the dial, so it matches the dial here on the center console. Our gear selectors are here, so park, reverse, neutral, and drive, and then manual if you want to put that into manual. This little guy here allows you to raise or lower the height of the car. You can turn on or off the auto stop start right there. Our start button is right here, and then our trailer control functions are right here. We do have a wireless phone charger and 2 USB ports, 2 cup holders. You can close this if you want to, and then here underneath the armrest, there's a nice deep well with storage space for a few things, not a lot, but you do have some storage. Probably my favorite thing though is this. There is the center console, and right next to it is a great place to tuck a handbag or a tote bag, which I think is just brilliant. Up here we have this really nice simplified panel. Our lights are here, and then this is our control for the sunroof and the sunshade. So if I don't want the sunshade, I can just pop that button and it will close. And if I do want it, I can just pop it the other direction and the sunshade opens. Another feature that Nissan added, and of course we're in the Platinum Edition, so the top of the line, but it has a video rear view mirror. And this is great. It is much brighter at night, so if you're driving at night, this is really the one to use. But if you want a true reflective view, all you do is pop this little toggle and you can see reflective view of the rear of the car. If you've got butts on all the seats, you've got passengers or cargo, this means that your view is never blocked behind the car. This truck feels good, and it is a truck. It's based on the same platform as the Nissan Frontier. It has a lot of the same capabilities. It has the same engine. It has a lot of the same dynamics. And one of those is ProPilot Assist, which is Nissan's driver assist and safety system. It includes features like adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist and other automated or helpful technologies that allow you to relax a little bit behind the wheel. An option for the 2025 model, though, is ProPilot Assist 2.1. And what that allows you to do is to set your speed and then take your hands off the wheel. And it is a certain amount of hands-free driving. This is not automated driving. It's not self-driving. It is level 2 assisted driving, and it is hands-free. So I'm going to try this out for the very first time. So I'm going to tap that on. It shows me here the features that are active, and then I'm going to tap my set button, and I can see that ProPilot Assist is active. I can see that there are blue icons here, not only on the dash, but also in my head-up display. And that shows me the speed that I've set on the road that I'm on, and then it shows me that the system is in fact active. And now I'm going to increase my speed just a little bit, so I've nudged it up to 5 miles an hour above the speed limit. It gives me a green light and it tells me hands on the wheel. And the reason it wants me to put my hands on the wheel is there's a break in the mapping information. So for some reason, this part of the road is not mapped. When the system is active and blue, it will change lanes for me automatically. So let's see if we get to another spot in the road where the map is fully active and accessible, and the system knows the road and will allow me to change lanes. We'll see if that happens. Woo! It's very insistent in its forcefulness of keeping you in your lane. So when you have the turn signal on, it allows you to easily change lanes. But if you don't have the turn signal on, it will resist a little bit, not knowing whether or not you really intend to move over into that lane. Now, still, this will mostly guide me around curves and keep me in my lane. but it will eventually ask me to put my hands on the wheel. And that's because we are not using the actual hands-free system. So how does it know? Well, one is it's watching me through this camera system right here. Now watch, it's going to guide me right along this curve, but I can see there are hands on the wheel there, and you actually saw the flash red. That's telling me, put your hands on the wheel, lady, or we're not going to let you use the technology. If I didn't put my hands on the wheel, it would turn off the ProPilot Assist system and not allow me to use it any longer. Another way that I can tell that I'm using the hands-on, not the hands-free system, is there are hands right there on the steering wheel. That is telling me you need your hands on the steering wheel to use the system. A lot of the magic though in this car is right here in the center row, and that's because we have these slide and tilt center row seats. So with a child passenger car seat installed, you can actually just pull this tab on the shoulder and the seat slides and tilts. It actually lifts out of its frame and tilts forward and slides. So you have great access to the third row without having to uninstall a child passenger car seat. And that is a very good thing. But let's talk about what it's like to sit in this center row seat. Now I'm going to say that was actually pretty easy to manage. So let's hop in and see what it's like to sit in here. We do have grab bars, which we learned recently were specified by the Queen of England for her cars, and they became a commonplace thing. Thank you, Queen Elizabeth. That was a very thoughtful gift to us all. So in the rear seat, passengers have this panoramic sunroof overhead here. Our model is outfitted with captain's chairs. Captain's chairs are an option on every model except for the base SV and the Pro 4X. Both of those get a bench seat. Let's talk about amenities because they did something really cool. There is a nice low cup holder console here. There's a space for a phone, there's 2 USB ports, and there are 2 cup holders right here. Now this is a fixed piece of equipment. It doesn't come out, but it's really low, and there's foot space next to it to be able to walk through, or better yet, a perfect place to tuck a handbag. This is phenomenal. I'm going to say I give Nissan props for this particular little design detail, because what that means is if you're in the front seat and you need to pop your handbag someplace, and even if you've got passengers in the outboard seats here in the center row, you still have a place to put your handbag that's not under your feet or under your passenger's feet or sitting in a chair or sitting someplace where it's going to be in the way. There still is a pretty flat floor here because this is a full-size SUV. We get that flat floor treatment, so you could leave a bag there, but there's a lot of space to put your stuff. You could easily fit a tote and 2 backpacks right here in the center space and not impede the center console. I'm going to say I really like this setup a lot. What else do you get back here? There are climate controls here. We have 2 more USB ports here, a 12 volt if you need to use have an adapter for something there, and then we have air vents here in the ceiling. We don't have them here, but we do have them right up here in the front, and there's nothing to impede that air. So we've got air vents for all passengers in the second and third row, and then the front seat air vents are designed to give airflow to the entire cabin. But let's talk about kids' car seats, because we do have 2 full sets of latches here, 2 full sets of latches here, meaning the lower anchors and the upper tethers. There's 1 in the third row. The third row does have 3 upper tethers, so you can install kids' car seats and attach them with the upper tethers in all 3 seats in the third row. How are kids' car seats going to fit? Well, that is a good question. So this seat is set for me. I'm 5'8". This seat is all the way back. It is on a rail, and you can move it forward or back. And I'm going to give you all the measures with this seat set for me. So seat back to seat back, I have 33 inches. That's a nice amount of space. You need at least 29 for a rear-facing baby seat, child passenger car seat. But how is it in the middle setting? In the middle setting, I have 31 inches, and in the closest setting, I have 27 inches. So this closest setting is not going to be ideal for a rear-facing child car seat, especially if you've got somebody sitting in the back who really wants that leg room. They're going to need to either sit in the middle or sit on the passenger side or sit not behind a child passenger car seat. But in the middle position, This is completely doable. With that 31 inches, you should have enough space for a rear-facing child passenger car seat and still be able to afford legroom for the person sitting behind them in the third row. Let's talk about how wide these seats are, because this is a full-size SUV. It should be able to accommodate 3 seats across, and the outboard seats are 19 inches. And then I'm not in a bench model, but I will be later and I will measure then. But I see 15 inches between the seat belts. So 15 inches between the seat belts means that center seat in the bench is going to be wide enough for either a human rear end or a child passenger car seat. Should we take a look at the third row? I used the slide and tilt function to put this seat forward so you could see what it's like for me to climb into the third row. So I'm actually going to use this little pass through because I love the foot space, but I'm going to pretend like this seat is not all the way forward, or that I climbed in that way. And I'll show you what that looks like too. For access to the third row, I'm going to just slide and tilt this seat forward, and then I'm going to climb in. And I'm going to say this is pretty easy. I can't stand up real tall, but it's not bad at all. I have enough space to manage getting myself in here. If I needed to install a child passenger car seat, that's not going to be real hard either because of this big wide space here. You definitely have room to work. And so here I am, and I like this middle seat. It does have a headrest. It does have kind of small, narrow space, but I like this seat because this one is where I feel most comfortable. I have the most visibility in the cabin. I do have large windows here. Ooh, we've got USB ports here, and we have these functions to fold the center seats if we want to. So I've got 2 USB ports, 4 cup holders, and then there are power buttons right here for the third row seats. And this allows you to both reach through here to put the seats up or down if you're opening that door, or you can do this. Recline your seat. Let me show you that again. I'll slide over here and I'll recline this one. It's pretty good. With the headrest up and the reclined seat, I feel pretty good back here. But how is the legroom? Well, the legroom's pretty good too. So this seat is set in the middle position, and I have, in fact, you know what? I will pull out my handy dandy tape measure and I will show you. I've got about 4 inches between my knees and the seat in front of me. Now, if this seat is pulled all the way back, let's try this one all the way back and see how well I fare with this one. And it may not actually come all the way back. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. And how much space do I have? I have about 1.5 inches when this seat is pushed fully back towards the rear. That's still a lot of legroom. And then I want you to notice the position of my knees. My knees are actually at a pretty good angle, and almost a right angle, which is where you want to be. You want that upright sitting position without compromising knees. You don't want your floor here so your knees are uncomfortably up in your, under your chin. And you want to be able to stretch your legs out if you would like to. And that's something that I'm finding I really like about the interior of the Nissan Armada. The Armada Pro 4X is designed for off-roading. It actually has a higher grille, so it's a little bit higher than that on other Armada models. There are tow hooks under there. You can see the red tow hooks there and there. It has the capability of the highest ground clearance possible. It lifts 2 inches above its standard height for off-roading, and it has this distinct grille. Notice the other models have a chrome bar across the front. It has these 3, it looks like air vents. They're not air vents, but those 3, they called them nostrils. Well, I'm not sure I would call them nostrils. But anyway, that's the distinct front end of the Nissan Pro 4X. It also has a badge and a lot of details that are in red. You'll see that we did go off-road and we got a little muddy, but you'll also see that red Nissan badge there in the wheel cap. And then you'll also notice that there's a pretty big space between the wheels and the wheel well. And it was designed to give us a lot of space there for wheel articulation. So the wheels can actually move and grip the turf, grip the ground or the trail wherever so you have maximum traction and capability. And then you'll see back here the Pro 4X logo here on the rear of the Nissan Armada. But the real magic to the Nissan Pro 4X is inside, and I'm going to show you that. One of the real benefits of this screen system is this clever little trick that Nissan figured out, and that's with the camera system. So I'm just going to tap the camera system here, and because we have the underbody cameras and all the different camera angles, we can actually see quite a lot. But if I tap either the 360 view, that gives me the wide view, or the invisible hood view, which shows me the underbody, I can actually shift that view to occupy the entire screen. It shows the on the driver display and then also on the multimedia screen. Now I still have, if I'm driving, I still have my key information over here. It shows me the systems that are at work. It shows me that I don't have my seatbelt on. It shows me the speed I'm going. So I do still get all that key information, but I also get this really big, wide, awesome screen. Here on the off-road versions, those with four-wheel drive, you'll have a full dial of selections here. So snow, normal, eco, sport, tow, rock mode, sand mode, and mud and rut. Right here in the center is the downhill descent control. And then there's a panel of buttons over here. And this is auto, just auto mode, for high, for low. In the Pro X version, you'll see there's a locking differential here, and then you can turn on or off traction control. So now comes the muddy part of our day. We took this beautiful Armada in this lovely green color off-road. And the off-road course we went to is right there. And I'm gonna say, watch this guy, because it's muddy. He is gonna go spinning and spinning his wheels, and actually he's doing pretty good. Some people had some tough time with that this morning because it's so muddy out here. This is Ryan, by the way.
Hi.
Ryan, lean forward.
I got you.
And he is my drive partner and pro driver as we head to the off-road course. So what do we need to know here,
This
Ryan?
is skeleton hood. We're seeing exactly what is underneath it. We took the hood away, and we're seeing what is
How does
underneath
it do
us
that?
right now. Camera technology.
Is there a camera underneath?
There is no camera underneath. It's using the front camera to show what it has already gone over.
Oh, and is it the side cameras too?
And it's the side
It's
cameras.
marrying all these views.
Let's look at this.
Whoa, look at that. Holy cow.
The whole thing. Now another view we have that we're
that's
going to
really cool.
find very useful today is this view right here.
Yeah, because I can't see over the hood. This is a big girl. This girl from Kansas State. What's her name?
Mallory.
Oh, I look forward to meeting you, Mallory. I look forward to meeting you. 4 more drive modes than the Platinum we were driving earlier. So this is mud and ruts.
Yeah.
And this is sand.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is rocks.
Of course.
And that's towing.
Yes, it is.
And this is race mode.
That's race mode. We call it sport, but you could call it race mode.
All right, Ryan. So we are in mud and rock. Do we have any other off-road modes? Sorry, mud and ruts.
Mud and ruts.
Mud and ruts. Mud and rock are not the same thing.
Let's wait
Mud
right
and
here.
ruts.
Let's wait right here.
Okay. And do I have any other off-road settings set? My height
Right
control
now,
is
your height is all the way as high as it'll possibly
as
go.
high as it'll go.
So we're all the way up. We are in 4 low.
Uh-huh.
So our transfer
okay, so
case
these
is
are
in
our
low.
off-road
We have auto, which is we're going to
selections.
drive the streets on. 4 highs when we're going to drive a little bit faster, but today we're going to drive a little bit slower and because of lack of traction. This is 4 low. Then we have the locker. You have the locker engaged. We just turn this and it'll turn off and turn on.
And I don't know if you guys can see, but this is some really gross mud.
Yeah, let's not get out.
I'm not walking out.
Get after it. Just give it some gas. There you go.
Keep your
Keep your
momentum
foot into it.
going.
Keep your foot into it. Keep going. You're good. You're good. Keep
I
your foot.
have not lifted my foot off the accelerator,
love
I
it.
promise
Go
you.
close to that guy right there.
Yep, okay.
Go
Okay.
deeper throttle, deeper throttle. Keep going.
Whoa.
Throwing some mud. You got it.
Oh my God.
Keep it deep. Keep it deep. You know, camera's
Woo.
off because your tires are spinning more than 12 miles an hour. Drive straight up towards that guy.
Alrighty.
Right up towards him. He's going to put you over there. You're all right.
That was pretty insane.
Yeah, it was pretty good mud.
That was good mud.
We're going to make it right.
Okay, and I'm grateful for this camera because I can see where the trail is and try not to scratch my paint. Now, look at that. I swear I felt like
Keep it locked all the way this way. There you
I
go.
was going to
There you
knock
go.
him over. Whoa! Whoa! I can't believe you guys are letting us do this. Whoa. Okay, the whole car is sliding. How much does this car weigh? Like 7,000 pounds?
6,000.
6,000 pounds of sliding. Ah! Oh
You did great. You did great.
I told you there'd be screaming.
Yeah, you did. You warned me.
Oh my God. Then we're going to drive here and we're going to let them put a cover on the windshield. And I'm going to drive through this field with no view out the windshield. I'm going to just use the cameras,
Yes, you are.
right?
That's correct.
Now,
So we got this view, and so with this view, when you turn the steering wheel, the green lines are going to go where you're intended. The blue lines are always going to stay straight. The vehicle going straight. So as we get to these bales, which we're going to shoot for these bales right here, we're going to keep those blue lines straight towards the middle of those bales. You can do it. What we're going to use is when we get up there, we're going to use these two. These are going to be very handy, and I'm going to show you why in just a minute.
okay. All right. So
So we're going to
You want me
focus
to-
on this one right now and hit those bales. Just
Okay.
don't hit the bales. Go between
and
the bales.
so you want me to 30, 40 miles an hour?
as fast as you can go.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
So your blue lines stay between them. So get your blue lines over here, over here, over here, over here,
okay.
over here. Now look, if you look, right here's the bale. And right here's the bale.
Oh
so
my
if you look
gosh.
at these outside views, you can see exactly where the bales are.
So you can see where the lines are, my guidelines are. And there's a bale there, and there's a bale there. And over here, there is the bale of hay. And then the other one is right there.
Look, there's a bridge for us to cross.
Oh,
Line our
geez.
blue lines up on that bridge. So we're going to get on both, line those blue lines right up on the bridge.
I think that's a car wash.
Right there, right, yeah. Okay, now, if we look at these cameras, look, you can kind of see the board here and you can see a lot of board here. If you go a little bit to your left, now you'll line, see, now come back straight. Now look, you have even, perfectly even boards on both sides of your tires.
Wow. We had a great day driving around through Tennessee in the 2025 Nissan Armada, and the company delivered on their promises. Lots of capability, lots of comfort, lots of confidence, both on the on-road and the off-road. The interior details are well thought out. There are a lot of conveniences, a lot of design points that I really liked. I really did love, though, that they brought in so many of the innovative features from the Infiniti QX80 into the 2025 Nissan Armada. With a starting price of about $56,000, topping out at just over $80,000, you have a wide range of choices to make in purchasing this car. You can go all out and go posh, or you can go basic and save that extra budget for a road trip to Disneyland, which you're gonna love making with ProPilot Assist, or even better, ProPilot Assist 2.1. You can drive to Disney and almost never touch the steering wheel, which is brilliant. We really enjoyed the new sound system. We really enjoyed all the beautiful features. And I'm gonna tell you, I really enjoyed being able to put up and down the third row without having to get out of the car. Find our full story in the 2025 Nissan Armada and all its competitors, and everything you want to know about 3-row SUVs at A Girl's Guide to Cars.